Good evening, everyone. I'd like to introduce you to my good friend, tonight's co-host, Tara Craver, to KLRN podcast radio show, Remember the Fallen. Tara will be doing her show from Craver Studios, located in gorgeous Highlands County, Florida.
We are proud to claim the title of United States Marine.
Honor, courage, commitment.
Tara is the widow of USMC veteran Carl Craver. Her husband passed in 2014. His death was finally deemed service-connected after his passing. Carl died never knowing whether his claim was approved or denied. But Tara, with determination and perseverance, continued her husband's fight, and after a 3.5-year fight, her claim was approved. Now, with passion in her heart, she continues to fight for all veterans. Tara is known for standing for justice for our veterans and their families against the Veterans Administration, so please sit back, relax, and get comfortable, and hope you enjoy tonight's shows.
Hello, everyone. This is Tara Craver, and I want to welcome all of you to tonight's show. This is my third podcast radio show here on Remember the Fallen. For those of you that didn't catch the last couple shows, I am the widow of United States Marine Corps veteran Carl Craver. My husband died back in 2014 of esophageal cancer. Unbeknownst to us then, and so many Americans still today, Camp Lejeune is the largest mass contamination in United States history. Between 1953 and 1987, the contamination at Camp Lejeune was kept swept under the rug, literally, which in my book, folks, is totally unacceptable. We are talking about men and women, the Marines, the Navy personnel, Army, anybody that lived, served, or worked at Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, was exposed to highly contaminated chemicals in the drinking water, the food they ate, the water they bathed in, the water they swam in. And to this day, there are still people unaware of the contamination at Camp Lejeune. When Dave Matthews, the host of Remember the Fallen, invited me to be his co-host, I eagerly accepted. This was another way and another chance for me to get the awareness out there. As I said on my last show, after my husband's passing, I reopened a claim that he had started after we found out about Lejeune. It took 3.5 years, but in September 2017, my claim for my husband's death was finally approved for surviving spouse benefits. A BVA judge, the Board of Veterans Appeals, finally ruled in my favor that my husband's death was indeed service-connected. My goal, as I said, is to get the awareness out there. People are dying, folks, every day. They're having cancers that, according to the DNA tests for those that have actually done this, that it does not even run in their family, like Parkinson's, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, bladder cancer, kidney cancer, and I don't have them all in front of me to name them all. But if they knew about these chemicals that they consumed while stationed at that base between that 30, 40-year decade, it might explain to so many veterans that were on that base and family members why they have the health issues they have today. On the phone tonight, I have a Marine veteran that was also stationed at Camp Lejeune. His name is Ned. He is calling from the surrounding area of Dayton, Ohio. Ned, I want to thank you for being here with me tonight. You were stationed at Camp Lejeune yourself. Can you kind of tell the listeners what years you were there?
Thanks, Tara. Let's see, served from 1980, 1984, and 3 months over at Camp Schwab on Okinawa, and a little time in the mainland Japan. Outside of that, I served with the headquarters company, 2nd Battalion, 4th Marines.
Ned, when was it that you actually found out about the contamination after you got out of the Marine Corps?
I was sent a letter, I'm going to say about 6-7 years ago when I was living in New Bremen, just north of here. And I received a notice about every 3 months, an update about the situation at Camp Lejeune, because I knew nothing about it before that. But so over time, I'd read it, try to find out what's going on here, try to speak with a few others. Nobody else knew about it. And long story short, I quit receiving those letters, update letters. It kind of fell off my radar for a while until the internet, and things started showing up there, and I pursued it some more. And
Yeah, but when you were getting these letters and everything, your health was more or less pretty good at the time, right?
Yeah, I wasn't too bad off at that time. Like now, I'm at stage 4, small cell carcinoma, metastatic, by the way. And things went downhill pretty quick in the last 2 years.
And for the listeners that are listening tonight, Ned and I have been talking, he and his wife and I, for about 2 years, maybe more, but at least 2 years now. So even before Ned did contract cancer, him and I still communicated quite often on the telephone. Well, Ned, when your situation started going downhill, if I remember right, it was last fall. You went to the doctor for something. What can you kind of tell everyone that's listening tonight how it all started?
Okay, about midsummer last year, we came back from a trip in Florida, and unaware to me at the time, the primary care doctor I had departed with the VA for whatever reason. I don't know why, but anyhow, since I couldn't get in to see the primary care doctor, I started going to the ER for just about every medical condition I could think of: swelling feet, fluids in my ear, pain in my left arm, some oddball things. Things didn't feel right. So anyhow, I went to the ER another time, and a Dr. Bot that was on duty there, or on call doctor, whatever they call that title, he decided to do a battery of tests. They involved X-ray, blood draws, urine. There might have been 1 or 2 other things I can't recall. But anyhow, he said after he completed these tests, he did see a spot on my lung. And also asked me if I had ever injured my left arm. And I said, not to my knowledge, with the exception of just humping deuce gear while I was in the Corps. And, the pain's there, and he kind of put it off as probably being nothing more than maybe just arthritis. There's nothing really there was to prove what he was looking at on his X-ray.
Okay, this is a VA physician, correct?
Yes, the ER to VA here in Dayton.
Right.
Well, anyhow, he said I need to go see my primary care doctor. I explained to him I don't have one. I said, can you push for someone to see me on the blue team department? He actually did. I got to see a nurse.
Physician assistant?
Yes. And, we had a doctor incoming that wasn't already working there at the time, so I couldn't see anybody but her. She sat down with me and Kathy, and she goes, I need to know what's wrong with you. Give me a day one, what's going on with your health, what you need to have done. I said, well, okay, apparently you've already seen my X-ray. You know about the spot. She goes, yes, we do. And I said, well, okay, I want to know what's going on there. And I just went down a list of things. I talked about my leg, the swelling in my ear, the pain in my arm that was brought up in the ER. And I just went down everything I could think of. Kathy kind of thought I was being a crybaby, tell her.
Well, you know how us wives can get.
Well, she thought I was whining. But anyhow.
What did they ever come up and say about the spot? I mean, I know you were having other issues.
Right.
But they didn't seem concerned about it, or?
Well, what was determined on August 4th of last year that I was at stage 1 large cell carcinoma. And the spot on my lung, it was determined through a PET scan, and it showed a hit on that. So they were sure that was cancer. They ordered to have they took a biopsy. I was kind of blanking from. So anyhow, there was a spot on my left shoulder. They weren't too concerned with that. So the doctor I was seeing, I want to say a pulmonary doctor,
Right.
He suggested he's going to talk to a surgeon who will go ahead and determine whether to do a biopsy on my lung or a biopsy on the spot of my shoulder, left shoulder. Okay. A little time goes by here. Maybe a week later, I get notified that there's a physician. The surgeon's going to do the biopsy on my lung. Whatever that biopsy is determined to be, whatever that spot is on my left shoulder, will probably be the same type of cancer. So I guess they consider that being a primary.
Let's kind of fast forward a little bit. I remember you and I talking one day last fall. It was either you and I or Kathy and I, and you had mentioned, or she had, that you had like a 6-week window to have this spot removed.
Correct. That was the same pulmonary doctor. He said 4 to 6 weeks. Within 4 to 6 weeks, we need to have something done, and they were recommending to have that tumor in my lung removed.
And this is a pulmonary doctor at the VA.
Correct.
Okay.
So they said, okay, we're going to do the biopsy. And then when they got it, they said it was large cell carcinoma. He said that's where the 4 to 6 week, we have to do this now, right away. And then someone decided that we better go ahead and have my left shoulder checked and have that biopsied. Turns out there was no physician inside of the VA facility capable of doing that kind of a surgery, the biopsy removal, because of its location.
And this is where they sent you to an outside contractor for the VA.
Correct. And that took about a week later to go down there and see that physician.
Okay, so now we're down to 5-week window.
So we went down there, stayed overnight. It was actually a sleep storm that night, come to think of it. But anyhow, did the outpatient surgery, went home. I get a call, I believe it was a Monday or Tuesday, because I went up, was it Thursday night or Friday night we went down there. So anyhow, it was a weekend. I had to wait. The doctor calls me up from down in Cincinnati and asks me, who can I contact at the VA so I can give him the results of the biopsy that I have here? And I said, what does it show? He says, you're metastatic. And me not being real familiar with a lot of the terms still yet, I said, what's that mean? He goes, you got cancer. But he wouldn't go in much detail about it. I told him, hang on, I'm going to get a hold of my primary care doctor because I have no idea who you got to get a hold of at the VA to give him the results of your testing. I get a hold of my primary care doctor who was now already just taking seat with the VA.
Your primary care doctor at the VA.
Yes, I hadn't even met him yet, and he just finally came aboard. And he said, have him send me all the information. He then went ahead and forwarded whatever he had to the oncology department at the VA. And let's see.
So in other words, the outside contract doctor needed records from your primary care doctor from the from the VA. And we could say it was urgent because now you're down to a 5-week window. So what the outside doctor was needing was records from the VA, correct?
Well, not exactly. He actually needs to get somebody to VA to answer the phone so he can say, who do I send my results to?
To the answer. So when he called the VA, nobody even answered the telephone?
He was leaving messages with them like just about everybody else has, to do, and he couldn't get anybody to respond and call him back because he had no idea who to send this to.
Boy, that sounds like incompetency.
Hey, this is Tara, and you are listening to Remember the Fallen. So don't change that dial. Stay tuned for more of tonight's show after this short commercial break.
Bring in your Players Club card from any local casino to 7th Street Casino and join the Lucky 7 Club and win up to $250 in free slot play based on the status of your casino club card. Once you're a member, you can play and earn additional chances to win up to $250 in free slot play.
Hey, this is Tara again. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming show or you yourself would like to share your story, please contact me at Craver Studios, FLA@gmail.com. That's Craver, C as in Charlie, R-A, V as in Victor, E-R, Studios, S-T-U-D as in Delta, IOS, FLA, Foxtrot Lima Alpha, @gmail.com. And if you are a Facebooker, check out my Facebook page, Camp Lejeune Victims, The Faces.
Sprint gives you the best of both worlds. A network built for unlimited and a great price. Our LTE Advanced network is now up to 2 times faster than before. And our total LTE coverage has increased by 30%. There's never been a better time to switch. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1 and make the switch to Sprint today.
Faster compared to 4G LTE. LTE Advanced requires a capable device. 4G LTE data coverage with roaming coverage and offer not available everywhere.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year. Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
So that's what I do with my primary care doctor. And he says, have him contact me. I'll forward the necessary, the appropriate information to whatever department. Cardiology, everybody got the results, except for oncology. But anyhow, so I did all these other tests. Let's see, a week later, I went to cardiology. They did all their testing. They said I'm in good shape for the lung removal. Not lung removal, but the tumor to be removed in my lung. At this point in time, no one was aware of my status of my shoulder biopsy. They were still going to go ahead with the surgery on my the tumor on my right lung.
Even though the VA had never contacted them back?
Well, they did, yes.
How long did it take for the VA to finally return the call?
Well, I'm going to give it about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, and we're talking about a veteran that has been diagnosed with cancer,
Right.
And you had a 6-week window.
Yep.
And the outside doctor is trying to get at least somebody from the VA hospital to return his call. So we're talking about a veteran's life.
Yeah.
And the VA waits 2 weeks, and bless their little hearts, they finally call him back? Or did he finally get somebody on the phone? Maybe they weren't out to lunch this particular day, but they finally got somebody on the phone, and things went from there, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Thanksgiving weekend came through, and that was kind of that time frame where I started having seizures. I was in the hospital, in Kettering Hospital. They couldn't get me to the VA clinic fast enough. They thought I might die, so they put me at Kettering Hospital. And I was in there for 5 days having seizures, and I had to be treated for that. They don't know where the seizures came from. They want to say maybe it was stress, me knowing about my medical situation with the cancer. They changed my meds. I'm fine now.
I remember you and I had phone calls while you were in the hospital, and a few days later when I called to check on you, when I couldn't get a hold of Kathy, when I called to check on you myself, because I do live in Florida and I couldn't exactly drive over to the hospital, you didn't even remember the conversation we had a couple of days before that.
Nope. I don't remember hardly anybody being there. That's the bad thing about it. So those 5 days go by, and I can't do anything, see what the VA is doing. Everything just kind of dropped there for a time frame. But Kathy told my medical history to Kettering Hospital, what's going on, that I have cancer, and an oncologist there for a cancer clinic came and visited me, and she explained to Kathy, I didn't know at the time, because I was sitting there having a seizure while she was talking. I could hear but not respond. And I wasn't aware at the time, but this oncologist got some information, and from, I assume from the VA, that she said, you're at stage 4, small cell carcinoma, metastatic. That's the one time I sat up in my bed, and I about crapped myself, to be honest with you, because I was like, what does this all mean? It went from stage 1 to stage 4. We passed that 6-week time frame. They said we can get a hold of this. They didn't. So
the outside contractor, he seemed to knew what he was doing or put a priority on this, but the VA, well, like I said, they were out to lunch.
I contacted him, and, he returned his calls so he could get the information to the appropriate doctors so they can handle this, procedures as they wanted to, take care of and treat me. It was December 4th. I got an appointment for oncology at the VA. me and Kathy had some discussions with that other oncologist at Kettering. And I told her, I said, we're going in. We're going to tell them I'm out of here, and I'm going to use the full authority of the President of the United States. You've had 90 days to treat me and do something. They did not. I requested, I want out. I want to go to the Veterans Choice Program. They haven't hauled for about 2 hours trying to tell me how they got the best equipment, if not in the nation, to treat, and proceed with, the chemo, what have you.
This is the VA that says this?
Yeah. And the head oncologist did happen to ask me, goes, do you know anything about the biopsy on the shoulder? Have you got the results on that? And I said, no. I said, don't you? I said, this is the reason why I went out. You folks don't even know where that report is. I gave that information to my primary care doctor. He forwarded it to you folks. It should be in the system.
So let me ask you something. The VA, or not the VA, but the outside contractor doctor that took the biopsy, he sent all this information in, the results and everything else that goes with it, the test results, just everything. And the VA can't find it, let alone know that it's even there?
Well, they found it that day, Kathy, and I was seeing the oncologist. The two doctors were on the computer, clicking on this, clicking on that, and they found it in a file. I have no idea what they were actually doing on the computer. It was sitting there for almost 2 weeks. They had the information on hand, and oncology wasn't aware of it. So there was 2 weeks. They did nothing because they were waiting on the results from the test, which was already in the system. And
well, let's fast forward. I don't know when it started exactly, but you were currently taking chemo, correct?
Yes, I am now.
And when did they start the chemo treatments?
December 28th.
Okay, are you getting the chemo treatments through the VA?
The VA, through the Veterans Choice Program, is taking care
of an outside facility.
Yeah, the cost, everything, medications, everything's being it's handled through the VA, but Kettering Hospital's actually doing the treatments.
Right.
And they just took me off chemo here about a month ago, and they're putting me on a Keytruda, which is a maintenance drug.
Okay.
The lung, or the tumor.
Right.
And lung and the tumor in my shoulder. And they say right now it's considered inactive. I don't exactly know what that means, but it's not exactly a mission. And
I'm not sure either. I'm not a medical person of any kind, but I just know one thing. Even though you, Kathy, and I have never met, it's been strictly by phone and Facebook and etc. I know as well as her that I personally am glad you're still here. And I know talking to you last night or the night before, you're starting to sound like your old self again. Because I even heard you laughing. So that was encouraging as far as me being able to listen to you.
Hey, this is Tara, and you are listening to Remember the Fallen. So don't change that dial. Stay tuned for more of tonight's show after this short commercial break.
Hello, I'm Hector Elizondo, Emmy Award-winning actor, and I want to talk to you about getting older. My body hurts, my joints ache, and sometimes I forget. I forget that doing all your own scenes for a movie isn't always the best decision. Especially when you're galloping side-saddle down a countryside road on a horse named Archibello, who seems to have only one speed, high. And pulling on his reins only seems to encourage him to go even faster. So, of course, my body hurts and my joints ache, but it's not because of my age. It's because I'm living my life. Oh, Archibello!
Don't let life pass you by. Take care of your brain health. It may just help you stay on top of your game.
As soon as this scene wraps, I'm going to kiss the ground, thank Archibello for his outstanding performance, feed him a carrot, and visit brainhealth.gov.
Find out how you can make the most of your brain as you age at brainhealth.gov.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? Well, what's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents. And when a kitten has a litter of oopsies and a puppy has a litter of uh-ohs, pretty soon you have thousands and thousands of OMGs. And that leads to millions of pets being killed in shelters each year. But if 80% of people with pets say they believe in spaying and neutering, then what gives? Turns out that those sweet little fuzzballs can get pregnant sooner than you think. A lot sooner. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. You just have to remember one number, 4, as in 4 months. When you bring home Maggie or Ruby or Puddles or Clyde, get them fixed at 4 months old. It can be old enough to get pregnant, and it's definitely young enough to make a difference. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
It took me a long time to be able to say Chandler has cancer, because that is such a scary word. St. Jude takes care of absolutely everything. And knowing that we don't have to pay for all of the medical expenses, that's huge.
St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
St. Jude is uniquely positioned to advance the cures of pediatric cancer, I think better than any other institution in the world. The contributions make a big difference.
Donors are important to us because you get the feeling that you have a team behind you. We have the resources and we have the focus. And so if St. Jude doesn't do it, who will?
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures. Saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
There's a threat targeting America. One that's growing fast, but may still be hard to see. Lyme disease. Spread by tiny ticks, often smaller than the head of a pin. This dangerous disease is now more widespread than West Nile, tuberculosis, and HIV/AIDS combined. And if left untreated, it can lead to arthritis, facial paralysis, and even memory and concentration problems, often called brain fog. As the threat of Lyme disease grows to more than 300,000 projected cases each year, it's time for us to target Lyme disease. That means checking for ticks when you've been outside, even in your own backyard. It means seeing a doctor if you experience the symptoms of Lyme disease, which can include joint pain, flu-like symptoms, fever, fatigue, or sometimes a bullseye-shaped rash. Set your sights on stopping Lyme. Learn how you can target Lyme disease at targetlyme.org.
We're here early before they wake up. We stay late. We stay informed. We invest in the latest technology.
We take the time to train the next generation of doctors and nurses. We work together to make sure we heal their bodies and their minds.
We do this not because it's our job, but because this is about our veterans' lives. This is our mission. More than 300,000 of us working as one, together with families and loved ones. No matter where they live in this country, we'll be there.
We all come together and stand together to serve our veterans. We stand strong, united. Stand with us in caring for our veterans.
The Red Cross responds to nearly 66,000 disasters every year, most of them house fires. Red Cross President and CEO Gail McGovern says you need to develop an evacuation plan and practice it, especially with your children. It takes just 2 minutes for a home to be engulfed in flames.
Practice those drills. We all think our kids know what to do. They don't. We need to teach them. We have started a large campaign where we're going into vulnerable communities and helping install smoke alarms. Already 92 lives were saved, and 4 of those lives were saved by a 5-year-old girl who remembered what we taught them during these fire drills, and she got her family out. We also have a slew of free apps that people can download onto their smartphones. It's what to do in every kind of disaster you can imagine, how to prepare and how to recover.
To help support all the Red Cross does and to make a financial donation, go to redcross.org. That's redcross.org.
Hey, this is Tara again. If you have a suggestion for an upcoming show or you yourself would like to share your story, please contact me at Craver Studios, FLA@gmail.com. That's Craver, C as in Charlie, R-A, V as in Victor, E-R, Studios, S-T-U-D as in Delta, I-O-S, F-L-A, Foxtrot Lima Alpha, @gmail.com. And if you are a Facebooker, check out my Facebook page, Camp Lejeune Victims, The Faces. Well, let me ask you something. At least they're starting treatment. At least they're acknowledging. At least they got the test results. Do you feel that last fall, after when you were told that you had a 6-week window, how does that make you feel that 6-week window came and went? Did you feel like the VA was jeopardizing your life?
I believe now, Tara, that actually I may lose my life because 3 months that went by before anybody considered, here's what we're going to do. That was December 4th. That was that 90-day window where they have hauled around and actually did nothing. It was like a lack of interest, no organization, no priority. And I've heard the word priority all the time, but it wasn't with them.
Well, you and I were talking, well, like I said, we've been talking a lot. There was one time before the health issues started to go south with you last year, you and Kathy had both told me that there was nothing in this VA facility that you go to, posters, flyers, brochures, any kind of advertising material at all that has anything to do with Camp Lejeune to try and tell other veterans that were unbeknownst to, well, people like my husband and I at the time. I mean, we never got a letter like you got every few months. We were never notified, not one iota. But didn't you tell me to this day, or did you say just recently? No, Kathy did. Told me just recently, for the first time since the acting VA secretary, and I think it was April 2018 of last year, told all VA facilities that they were to hang posters and give out flyers telling the awareness regarding the contamination at Camp Lejeune. You said there was no kind of literature, anything there?
There was, just recently, they put up, what's the dimensions on that? Like a 3.5 by 2 by 3 sign. Something like that. At the primary care waiting area. It's not in a real obvious spot, but it's now hanging on the wall. Before that, they had a little cart, 3-shelf cart, which had information on Camp Lejeune.
I got a picture of that cart. You sent it to me.
Yeah. That was what, no one knew what it was. Just like junk paper. It looks like, just junk paper sitting there. As a matter of fact, one day we were there and there was a bag of popcorn sitting in it. I just go figure.
And the Camp Lejeune literature was all in under and behind that.
Correct. Yeah. It was like someone just threw it in there, and that was into that. Papers laying on the floor, like someone turned on a fan, just blew it around. It was pretty pathetic. But now they got that larger sign, and
hopefully it'll stay up. I've noticed from other veterans that have been notifying me through my Camp Lejeune Facebook group that the signs will go up, but a week or two later they go back and the signs have this uncanny way of disappearing. They want the signs to disappear. It's kind of sometimes makes me believe that they want the veterans to disappear as well, but you and I both know how I feel when it comes to the VA and Camp Lejeune and the travesty that this whole mess is causing many, many families, not to mention your own and, your well-being. And this is another thing that I have an issue with. Just like Carl, they said because he was terminal, my husband, that they would expedite him an appointment. His first appointment was for the same day that he died. That's how expedite that got. And like I said in my other show, they shouldn't use vocabulary they don't know the definition to. You will keep me in the loop as far as this cancer goes, this chemo treatment, and I would like to be kept in the loop of the kind of treatment you're getting through your local VA facility.
One of the things I could tell real quick.
Sure.
The day I went to the oncologist, December 4th, I received a letter 3 days later saying that I did not show up for that appointment. I have documentation that I was there.
You didn't show up for...
A kiosk I check into, it said what time. It prints out what time I was there, what department.
And who was it that said that you didn't show up for an appointment? For what appointment?
Oncology.
And you had already been there.
Yeah. And I've got documentation of everything that we're talking about here. I'm not one to throw away a piece of paper. Not with them.
Oh, no, you don't throw away anything, not even appointment letters. I keep those, too.
And
but
the beauty of that poster that was there in the primary care department waiting area, I had to see my primary care doctor here just the other day, my 6-month checkup, you want to call it that. Gave him a rundown of what's been going on with me. It was a long story short, what we're talking about now. And he goes, do you see that poster out in the waiting room? I said, no, I didn't. Kathy showed it to me afterwards. But
I'll be darned.
He's now all knowledgeable about it.
Well, how about that?
He actually looked it up, and he goes, I want you to go up to the 8th floor today and go ahead and put in a claim.
Did you?
Yeah, they have a department there that I didn't know existed. And go ahead and talk to them and get your claim filed and started.
Yep. Because we know this isn't no overnight claim process.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just told everybody out there, especially veterans, they already know anyway, I'm sure. The VA system, if they didn't even know that you were in oncology, but they send you a letter, which I know you've kept, saying you didn't show up for your appointment, would you say the VA system is completely broken?
I would say yes. There's some departments I could say, okay, things run pretty smooth, but in this situation, I got cancer, and all the heads of these departments, like cardiology, they saw me once for a consultation. I get a letter to come back a week later for another consultation. I did ask her, why am I here? She asked me the same question. She goes, I don't know. Why are you here? I said, I got a letter in my pocket that says, you want me to come back in again today? We had nothing to talk about. I had that letter as well. I've got everything to document, everything from day one.
Do you feel like the VA cares?
No.
Or gives a hoot?
No. The doctor that, I want to say is a pulmonary doctor, the one that told me that I have stage 1 large cell carcinoma.
Yes.
He didn't say metastatic at that time. It was the other physician down in Cincinnati that did the surgery on me down there on my left shoulder. He said it's metastatic now. So,
Ned, what do you think the VA could do to take care of their veterans better? Or what do you think the VA could do to just make people believe, or make veterans believe, make veterans' families believe that they actually are there for them? What do you think they could do to improve their system?
one, stop with all the regulations. That these doctors, most of them are they're temporary. They don't stay there long. I don't think half of them are even qualified to be a doctor. I don't know if they worked out in public at one time, and maybe a lawsuit or something caused them to go to the VA, because they'll take in just about anybody. And the attitude is, I'm a government employee, and there's just no incentive to do anything.
Well, they might have took that 40-hour subject matter expert class to become a doctor.
That could be already.
Yeah, we know about that one, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, listen, Ned, we're about out of time. Don't go away. I want to talk to you for a few minutes. But thank you. Kathy, if you can still hear me, you guys better keep me in the loop, because you know I'm concerned.
Yep.
I want to thank both of you for being on tonight.
You got it, Tara. Thank you.
Hey, this is Tara, and you are listening to Remember the Fallen. So don't change that dial. Stay tuned for more of tonight's show after this short commercial break.
Bring in your Players Club card from any local casino to 7th Street Casino and join the Lucky 7 Club and win up to $250 in free slot play based on the status of your casino club card. Once you're a member, you can play and earn additional chances to win up to $250 in free slot play.
Sprint gives you the best of both worlds. A network built for unlimited and a great price. Our LTE Advanced network is now up to 2 times faster than before. And our total LTE coverage has increased by 30%. There's never been a better time to switch. Visit a Sprint store, sprint.com, or call 800-SPRINT-1 and make the switch to Sprint today.
Faster compared to 4G LTE. LTE Advanced requires a capable device. 4G LTE data coverage with roaming coverage and offer not available everywhere.
it's Jamie, Progressive #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Well, everyone, it's that time again. I do hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Be sure to tune in every Thursday night at 8 p.m. and join the host of Remember the Fallen, Dave Matthews, as he discusses other veteran issues. And remember, what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. This is Tara Craver, and I am 10-7.